Uh, Here to talk about second homes and the reasons why to buy a second home. Income is one reason, whether you rent it out and basically get it to cash flow. An example being maybe a house in the mountains in like Vail or Aspen or Jackson Hole. A lot of times those houses or investments can basically subsidize the mortgage payment, taxes, insurance, HOAs, for not too long of a rental. Basically, you can have somebody else pay for the house. Other ideas, long-term profit. I take a look at a second home or a primary home as one of the best investments you can make. The reason being is if you take a 401k plan and you put money in there over a lifetime, when you go to cash out that 401k plan, you're going to pay taxes on all that money that's been put in there. Difference being on a second home and a primary home, once you've owned it for 2 out of the last 5 years, for a married couple, you can sell it, and there's up to $500,000 of capital gains is exempt. If you're single, there's only $250,000 of capital gains that is exempt from taxes. So it's a great way to save and not have to pay taxes. So that's kind of the tax advantages, just the growth of properties. The other thing I look at is family time. A lot of people will buy a second home, whether it's in Vail or Jackson Hole, to bring their family skiing, spend time with them. And at the same point, rent it out times that they're not up there to subsidize or make the payments for that property. In my case, I had my great-grandfather bought a cabin up on the North Shore overlooking Lake Superior. And basically, he passed it down from generation to generation. But so here's my great-grandfather that built a cabin. It's 110 years old. And, my parents, my grandparents, my parents, myself and my children have all enjoyed using that cabin. So that's another reason. And one of the last things is just looking at retirement. If you buy a second home where you want to retire, it's always a good idea. You can rent it out until you decide to retire, but and while you're renting it out, they're paying the taxes and the insurance and the upkeep. But once you sell your primary house because you are retiring, there's no capital gains up to $500,000 of profit. And then when you move into your retirement home, you can do the same thing with that house. So if you live in there for 2 out of the last 5 years of your life, basically your spouse or you could sell that house and be exempt from $500,000 of capital gains. So those are some of the reasons to buy a second home.